Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, it's RodneytheAlien.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about, like where you're from, what you do, give us that like Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, well, I mainly do hip hop. I've been experimenting with a bunch of different sounds lately, mostly pop punk and alternative rock, but I'm from McMinnville, Oregon. I'm 23. I've been making music since I was like 11.
Okay. And what got you to initially, like, what got you started with music?
When I was 11 years old, my cousin showed me the song "Not Afraid" by Eminem, and ever since I heard that song, I just fell in love with hip hop, and that's what really got me started writing music. And before then, I wasn't even really into hip hop. Like, I was into like Linkin Park and like Beastie Boys, but that didn't really have as much of an impact on me. But when I heard something like "Not Afraid," it was just like the poetic way of him talking about, what he's been through and stuff. Like,
yeah,
that was really inspiring to me.
Okay. Hell yeah. Do you play any instruments?
I played piano when I was younger, but like I wasn't really into music at the time, so I didn't stick with it. I just kind of got bored of it. I wish I would have stuck with it now, but I just wasn't into it at the time. I've been trying to learn how to play guitar, but every time my amp is I don't have an actual amp. I have a little tiny amp,
yeah,
and I just haven't used it in a long time. And then one day I was like, okay, I need to use this to practice, and then it doesn't work. So I got to get a new one, but it's not really a top priority.
Do you have an interface?
Yeah.
You could just use that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, plug it straight. Like, if your interface has combination inputs, like it can accept 1/4 inch or XLR.
Yeah.
Just plug it in there. I would say, Google it depending on which one you have, but more than likely you'll plug it into there. If there's a high Z setting, turn on your high Z setting. And then you can use any like plug-in guitar amp, and you could just play through that, and you'll be able to hear it through like headphones or speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may recommend getting a DI. You can get really cheap ones for like, I don't know, like $29 probably. You can probably get them cheaper on Amazon, but like, like just go pick up a DI for super cheap, and then you won't have any issues. You can just go whoop, right into your interface. Like, you'd go 1/4 inch from guitar to the DI, XLR from the DI to the interface. And it's an easy, nice, malleable signal to work with, and you can just go straight through that. You don't even need an amp. I mean, I'd still recommend getting one when you can, because, that amp life is good.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you could just use your interface.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, that's good to know.
Jimmy's fun little tidbit of the day, a brand new segment we just started right now.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Please, nobody make that a canon reminder for me, or I'm going to have to really start doing it. But let's get back into it. And this next question, actually, this is one that we asked pretty early on. It's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
So I don't remember the very first album I bought with my own money, but I do remember the first album I ever owned, which my mom probably bought for me, was Sorry for Partying by Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
But my first hip-hop albums were the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem and The Eminem Show.
It's really interesting, and this is not the first time I've said this either. It's interesting how many people's first experience was Eminem.
Yeah.
Like I still need somebody to go in on the comments and tally this up for me. I will pay you something. But a surprising amount
Well, it's good to hear that so many people have been, because sometimes I feel so cliche being like, oh yeah, Eminem's our god.
Dude, I mean, I think they're like, regardless of your stance on them, because I'm not a huge Eminem fan. Like, I just never clicked with me. But I know all the words to the older songs.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with them, and I like, you know, I was vibing.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like, it's never like been my jam per se. But it's really cool to like see, because I just recently got to re-listen to like older Eminem. Like I was doing Casey's Garage stuff with my boy Casey. You know, shout out Casey. And we put some on, like just all the throwback ones. And he, like, I knew the words so well that he thought I was reading the lyrics on my phone. And I was like, no, dude, I'm just. He's like, okay. So like, you know, like I grew up with him. I enjoy it, but it's really cool to see how many people ended up like choosing him. Just.
I used to know every single word to his albums too. I can just really relate to him.
Yeah, he showed a lot of passion early on in his music, and I think that really stood out. Now, since we're on the topic of firsts, what was the first like live show that you ever went to? That was like one you like wanted to go to.
The first one was Lupe Fiasco on the Lasers tour.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Who'd he tour with?
Lloyd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was probably a good show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
Did he play a lot of the throwbacks though?
Yeah.
Like, did he play a bunch of the cool ones? Okay, cool.
He played a good amount of everything.
Man, The Cool is still one of my favorite albums.
I really love his first two, but I think the last three he came out with and on the covers, that's actual paintings he did.
Yeah.
And I just think those,
you mean like Tattoo and Youth?
Yeah,
and stuff
those
like that?
last three, those are the best of his career though. Like,
well, yeah. Well, hold on. You're skating a real thin line, because conceptually they are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes. But I don't think
they're not as accessible.
Well, they don't have what I consider. I don't know. And this is just my own words from one person, not, you know, no clinical reviews. But like, he had such a generational voice during his space.
Oh yeah.
That his music had like an almost like anthemic meaning. Like there was a presentation. It was like almost, you know, it was not so much a performance, but it had like purpose. Like there was like an intent in his sound. And I mean, his beats were good. Like, they were really good. But I agree. I think, like I said, I agree with you. The Tattoo and Youth era, like the stuff that was all around that, it's different.
But I mean,
like it's got depth. It's got texture. Instead of thinking out loud and like communally, it almost feels very like introspective. Like it feels like he like searched within to make that sound. And again, and it's strange. It's not normal. It's not a common like sound. It's not as palatable. But
it's unique.
But it's so powerful. It's really got a presence.
It's personal.
It is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels very introspective. It's like what we were talking about off camera about like the making music for others versus making for oneself. That is a perfect example. I feel like his early work was him enjoying making music for others. And I think his later work was him enjoying making music for himself. Yeah. And that, I think, really like defines the differences between the two. But I still wouldn't have one without the other. Yeah. So I can't agree with you on his later work being better. I will say that I love the direction he went.
I think it's just more better in a technical way.
Yeah. I think there are things
it's a masterpiece. Like the cover matches the album. But I mean, with his older stuff, there's still masterpieces too. Like The Cool, it wasn't a personal album because he was talking about where he grew up. Yeah. But The Cool has such a fucking amazing concept too, but it's
the imagery in The Cool, like the presentation, the way that he paints pictures with words.
He creates a character. Like, I
mean, he creates all kinds of things. Like, I mean, in each song, he really draws on the imagery. And I mean, like, it's I hate using this song as the example. It's the only one I always pull from the album. But there's a track, I think it's called The Intruder.
I know.
Dude, it's one of the hardest. Like, I never have to like not experience something, and I just can't like it just hits so hard. Like it's too well done.
Yeah.
To a point where I'm just like, fuck, like that will fuck up my day
Dude,
if I listen to it.
My mind's blown every single time I listen to that song. Like, no matter how many times I heard it, I just get so invested into the story that he's telling. It's like, dude, it's fucking insane.
Yeah, he's
how he writes. It's how he connects it all together. Like that, and that's one thing I really try to do with my music is like I like to make my lines connect. Like I don't like to just say a bunch of random things and just put them together. I like to make sure next line connects. Yeah,
exactly. Well, actually, since we're getting into that topic anyways, let's keep moving on with this and let's dive into some of the focus questions that are you as the artist. And we're going to get the real easy one out of the way. How did you pick your name?
So, my first rap name was Magic R. And then I just thought that was kind of corny. And then my second one was RS, which is my initials, but it was supposed to stand for Rebel Spirit. And I thought that was corny too. So I decided to change it again. And I chose Rodney the Alien because I never really fit in. I've always been different. I have some disabilities which impair my social skills. Like I used to be severely OCD. I also have Asperger's, autism, ADHD, and it's just always affected my social life. So I've kind of always like stood out, alienated, been outcasted or whatever. But also in McMinnville, every year we have the UFO festival, and which McMinnville is where I'm from, and but one of the like most popular alien sightings is in that area. That's why they have the festival.
Gotcha.
And I live outside of the town. And around where I live, I don't know if it was like right above like my property, because like me and my whole family live together on a property, and I don't know if it was right above the property, but like in the area we live in, that's where the sighting was. But that wasn't even one of the reasons why I chose the name. But after the fact, after I chose the name, I was like, it's fucking perfect, because of that sighting being so close to like where I've grown up all my life. So I'm just like, fuck yeah.
I'll be honest, it's a really comfortable name.
Rodney the Alien?
Yeah, because Rodney, not a hard name to remember, not a hard name to spell. Case in point. Alien, again, easy word to spell, easy word to remember. And it flows well, like it's got a comfy rhythm. It's funny because the cadence is almost identical to Abi the Nomad. And that, again, the name just easy to spell, easy to hear, easy to remember. Rodney the Alien.
Yeah.
So it's got a really like quick to settle feel. So and that's something I preach on the show all the time.
I used to think it was a pretty unique name, and I've had that name for so long. But then when I started being involved in the Portland scene, I found out there was two other aliens. There's Bryson the Alien and Horizon the Alien. Shout out to them. But it's I thought I had such a unique name.
Well, I mean,
that
you're still the only Rodney the Alien.
Yeah. But I was just like...
And I mean, do you vibe with those dudes?
Yeah. I don't know them personally, but I love their fucking music.
Well, hey, you hit them up. Maybe they don't know each other. Do they know each other?
I don't know.
Maybe they don't know each other.
Yeah, we need to get together.
Yeah, all three of you. Hey, somebody, everybody at them in the comments. Do it. But like, that could be a thing. And then
that'd be sick. I'd love to do that. It's just it's hard. It's hard. I like connecting with people more in person. I've never met them in person before. So
yeah, but you already have a common thing.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to keep us posted. Follow-up episode. No, I'm kidding. But let's get back into it. Now that we found out your name, tell us a little bit about how you put music together. And specifically, let's focus on when you get inspired to write a song, what are the first things you do? And then what decides a song is finished?
So I kind of have different approaches to it. Like sometimes, I'll just want to write a song and I'll just find a beat and start writing, or I'll just like be going through something in life or whatever, and it's just like I have an idea, and so I just try to make a song out of it. And then sometimes I'll just get like, with like more catchy songs, I'll just come up with like a random tune in my head. And then just like while I'm working or something, just piece a few lines together that make a fucking catchy ass chorus. And then I'll do it that way. And honestly, a lot of my songs, I'll spend like a month to a year to finish because I'm just very intricate with how I write my stuff. Like I was saying, I like to make my words connect together.
Yeah.
And so it's a long process, but sometimes I'll get lucky and I'll write a song in like a few days or a couple weeks.
Hell yeah.
So my writing process is kind of spontaneous, but
I gotcha. Then, like I said, what decides when it's finished? Like what makes it ready to put out?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to figure out because I'm such a perfectionist and I overcomplicate things and nitpick things. So it's like I'm like, well, this could be better, this could be better, but at some point you just have like that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure it all out. You're like, oh no, what can I do? And then you just get to that point and you're like, yeah, this is it.
Okay, so it's just kind of like a point of relief at a certain moment.
Yeah, you just feel it at some point.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. All right, now, out of all the songs you have available at the moment, and I'm not quite sure, I apologize, I looked at it earlier and it just left my brain. Out of all the songs you have available at the moment, which one's like your one at the moment? Like if you had to show somebody just anything.
It'd be my song, probably my latest one, Change Me. Is that song and myself, they kind of like are two pieces that go together. And myself is like my search for self-love, and then Change Me is like once I find that self-love, and it's like you can't ever change me because I'm comfortable with who I am. Like a lot of, I try to make a lot of my music about like just learning to feel comfortable in your skin. So it's like myself is me finding that self-love and learning to be comfortable, and then Change Me is just like I'm comfortable. And I just like just having those songs, creating those songs, being able to having that feeling to where I can write a song like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to be able to get out and, you know, just feel good about it.
Hell yeah. Now, do you play shows often?
Here and there.
Okay. Tell us about either like your most favorite show that you've ever performed or like the most wild show you've ever performed at. Or if you have a story for both. Both.
The best one I performed at was the Icy Blue release show.
Yeah, shout out Icy Blue.
Yeah. And I only did one song. It was the song I have with Icy, but like before the song even started, like the whole crowd was chanting my name. And that was just such a cool fucking moment. And it's just like, that was just like, you know, confirmation, like just made me feel like, oh, hell yeah, you know, I'm doing something right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that was just a cool moment. And it's like, yeah, that was fucking dope. I'll never forget that moment.
No, those ones stick with you forever for sure. All right. Now, this is the last question and like the artist focused. And it's kind of a deep one. So get ready. What is it about music that matters most to you? And like not all like the things that happen in like reaction to it, but what is it about the making of music that you like really feel is the most like important reason to like continue to do it?
It's like the self-expression and the connection, like you expressing yourself and being able to be vulnerable and like really be yourself. Cause that's how I approach my music. It's really personal for me, and I really try to be myself. And just that expression, connecting with somebody. Like I remember way back in the day when my music wasn't very good, and I did some like at some like summer camp, I did a song, and this little girl came up to me and she just told me that she really appreciated that song and she could really connect with it. and like she was crying and asked to give me a hug, and like that's what I fucking do it for. Like, it doesn't matter
to make little girls cry. Got it. No, I'm kidding.
It doesn't matter whether it's just like one person or 100,000 people. If just one person, you know, can hear it and, you know, get something like that out of it, that's what I do it for.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's a great answer. Yeah. All right. Now let's go ahead and we're going to dive into some hypothetical questions. We're going to have fun with these ones. And for this first one, if you could work with any one artist that's currently alive, and if it's a group, you have to pick one member of the group, who would you pick? And how would you work with them? It'd
be Eminem. I'd make a song with him. I mean, he's always going to be like my number one favorite rapper. Yeah. I don't really listen to him much anymore, but it's just like, ever since I started rapping, I'm like, I want to do a song with Eminem. Like that's how I'll know, like, I'm where I want to be at.
But like, would you feature on his song? Would he feature on your song? Would you want him to like structure the part of it with you? Like, how would you want to work with him?
Just however it happens.
Okay.
Just as long as it happens, man. That's
as long as both our names are on the track. I could dig that. All right, now subsequently, and I mean, we'll say the other two guys technically don't count for this one, even though we already said them. Who's a local artist that you're currently aware of that you haven't connected with yet, but you would like to work with?
I'd want to work with probably a female artist. Like, there's this one artist, Lil Ange, and I might have had a conversation with her before. I don't know. But it's just like we've never really actually connected. But like, I've seen her live. Yeah. And there was this one time where it's just like blew me away. Like, she has such a beautiful voice that I'd love to make a song with some female vocals on it.
Okay. I mean, have you ever just thought about messaging her on Instagram?
Yeah, I just haven't really had the song.
Oh, gotcha.
If I had the right song where I felt like she fit on. You know the sound.
You just don't have it there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bet. Well, I mean, that's a cool way to look at it. That's yeah. You could definitely reach out to somebody too soon for a concept.
Yeah. I have so many people I want to work with, but I gotta wait for that right song where I'm like, okay, they sound good on this.
Hell yeah, I could dig that. All right, and then for this next one, sky's the limits. Think big. If you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access, you wouldn't have to worry about building stability, you wouldn't have to worry about power, anywhere, where would you perform?
It'd be Area 51.
Oh, that's so on brand. Holy shit.
That'd be sick.
That actually might be one of my favorite answers, and not just because of the location. Like,
no one's ever had a concert at Area 51. That'd be fucking dumb.
I mean, not that we know about.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Maybe there's actual aliens that have had concerts there.
Maybe. Yeah. Or they're like, because the people are stuck so deep down inside, like the people that can't leave, they like bring in concerts to happen down there, and they're just like, all they ever see is the elevator down and back up. They never see anything else. But you know, like, I'd hope that was the case. Like, if they're just stuck watching it on TV. Oh no. No, I'm kidding. All right. And then for this last one, if you had to pick a completely different genre than anything you've ever done before. So if you've done like a mixed genre song or have like something that's like a kind of a blended two, both of those are off the table. And as a plot twist, you can't choose country either. Too many people have said it. We're taking it off the table. What would you pick?
I would do EDM.
God damn it. That is the other one we're going to have to take off the table because that's the one that it goes to as well.
Yeah, I mean...
We'll let it stand because you were the deciding factor for the take it off the table. But if you had to pick a third, what would you pick?
I don't know. I have to think for a second. I mean, I got this one song that kind of has like metal vocals on it, but I'd love to do like an actual metal song sometime.
Okay. Valid. See, and there we go. We found a different genre. Also, Cameron, make a note. No more country and no more EDM. All right, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Why don't you tell everybody what you have coming up, say like early October and onwards.
I got my music video for my song Sail featuring Icy and Trey For Deuce coming out, filmed by Row 3 Films.
Hell yeah.
So I'm pretty excited about that. It's gonna be cool. It's I shot it on a goat farm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good farms to shoot stuff on. I feel like just everything's a little bit smaller because they're goats. I don't know. I have nothing for that. But that's awesome. Definitely looking forward to that. And then for this next one, go ahead and look at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on all streaming platforms at RodneytheAlien. No space, just all one word. And on Instagram, I'm Tizzy Not Busy, Tizzy, not Bizzy. And just RodneytheAlien on YouTube.
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Shout out to my day ones, Trevor Wynn, Elijah Warden, LSD. And shout out some of my homies in Albany, no offense, Mike Lee. Just shout out to the homies in the scene, Icy, Wavy Davy, Z Smoke, Lemon Drop, Black Cat, Solex, that whole Jing crew. There's just so many I can fucking name.
You showed up with a list.
But
you said so many names, I couldn't even follow up with the shout outs I knew on. Shout out to everybody that I knew that he just said. Yeah, that is plenty. You did good. You did good. That was a great shout out list. Other people, do that. All right, we're going to go ahead. We got one more question, but before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And with that being said, the final question. What is your guilty pleasure song?
I don't know if it'd exactly be a guilty pleasure, but I've really lately, one song I really like is Anti-Hero by Taylor Swift. But I don't feel too guilty listening to that song.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
One song I do actually feel guilty about enjoying, though. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of a banger. Is Kiki by 6ix9ine. I don't really like 6ix9ine as an artist. Definitely don't like him as a person. But that I think that On the Regular chorus is just catchy, but it's mostly fucking A Boogie and Fetty Wap. Their melodies on that song. It's just smooth. I don't know. It's a fucking banger to me.
Hell yeah. Well, hey, those are both solid answers. And somehow both expected and unexpected at the same time, but not the normal ones we get. So thanks for spicing that one up. All right. We're going to go ahead and get up and out of here. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming through.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. All right. We're going to get up and out of here, y'all. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Rodney the Alien.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.